Welcome to my channel. Try to hear the latest story.
My fiancée said at her bachelorette party, "One final night of freedom before I lock myself into a dull life." Her friend uploaded it to Instagram. I watched it, immediately canceled the wedding venue, and returned the engagement ring. She woke up to 200 bewildered guests and zero wedding. I'm 34, writing this on the day that was meant to be my wedding day. Instead of a tuxedo, I'm in sweats at home while 200 people arrived at a venue that stayed closed all afternoon. We'd been together 4 years, engaged for 8 months. The ceremony was scheduled for today, Saturday at 3 p.m. We had been planning for months with our coordinator. Total budget was roughly $35,000, which drained almost all my savings because Amanda insisted on her perfect day. Everything collapsed last Monday because of one Instagram video from the previous Wednesday's bachelorette party. I had my bachelor party the same night in a different part of town. Her group went to a high-end lounge. My friends and I kept it low-key at a sports bar. Nothing wild on either side, just typical pre-wedding nights out. Thursday morning, Amanda acted completely normal, maybe slightly hungover, but that was normal. She was rushing around for last-minute errands, picking up her gown from final alterations, double-checking vendors that I was doing my own tasks, picking up the tux, confirming groomsmen details, ticking boxes. Monday morning, exactly 7 days before the big day, I was scrolling Instagram and saw that her friend Jessica had posted a highlight reel from Wednesday night to her main feed. Loud music, cocktails, the girls dancing, standard bachelorette content. Then one clip stopped me cold. Amanda was leaning against the bar talking to a guy I'd never seen. The audio was clear over the beat. "One last taste of freedom before I commit to a lifetime of ordinary. I've got to live it up tonight." Then she leaned in and kissed him. Not a cheek peck. A full, deliberate kiss that I must have replayed that 10-second segment 50 times to be certain my eyes and ears weren't lying. My bride-to-be, 7 days before marrying me, making out with a stranger while announcing she was settling for a dull future. With me, I screen recorded it instantly and called her. Straight to voicemail. I tried 4 more times in the next hour. Same result. Then I started making the worst phone calls I've ever had to make. First call. Our wedding planner, Lisa, told her a serious personal issue had arisen, and I needed to explore full cancellation immediately. With only a week's notice, I'd still owe roughly 80% of all contracts since final payments were due this week. The venue alone would cost me $20,000 to walk away from. I told her I understood the penalties and to begin canceling everything. Most deposits were already non-refundable anyway. Second call, travel agent, cancel the honeymoon. 7-day notice meant forfeiting 90% of the resort package, about $6,000 gone. Third call. My bank to stop all remaining vendor checks scheduled for Tuesday, why Monday night. With Lisa's help, every single vendor was canceled. Total damage came to roughly $28,000 in fees and sunk costs. Wedding insurance reimbursed about $4,000 under the change of heart clause. So net loss around $24,000. Painful, but still cheaper than a divorce down the road. Amanda finally rang me back Monday at 8 p.m. "Hey honey, sorry I missed you. Been running around all day getting ready for Saturday. Are you excited?" "No, Amanda, I'm not excited. We have to talk." "Can it wait? I'm wiped out and still have 1,000 things to finish." "Amanda, I saw Jessica's Instagram story from your bachelorette." Dead silence. "Which video?" "The compilation she posted this morning. The one where you're kissing a random guy at the bar and saying you're about to settle for a boring life." Longer silence. Then, that's not how it looked. I have it saved. Amanda. It looks and sounds exactly like what happened. I was wasted. It was nothing. Calling your future husband boring and then kissing someone else is nothing? I didn't mean it that way. Then tell me exactly how you did mean it. She broke down crying, said she'd been terrified about marriage, that the kiss was meaningless, just alcohol and nerves, that cold feet are normal, that we could fix everything after the wedding. That's when I told her there would be no wedding. What are you talking about? I spent today canceling everything: venue, catering, florist, DJ, photographer, the works. Lisa's been contacting vendors all afternoon. You can't be serious right now. Completely serious. I'm not marrying someone who thinks she's settling for me. You're blowing this way out of proportion. It was one drunk comment. It wasn't just a comment. You made out with another man while announcing how boring I am. She panicked. How would we explain this to 200 guests? What about the money? Her dress? You should have thought about all of that before you decided one last fling was worth it. It wasn't a fling. The mistake would be me still showing up Saturday. That's off the table. I hung up. She blew up my phone. I let it ring. Tuesday morning I went back to the jeweler. Because the ring was a classic setting with a lab report, they bought it back at 65% of purchase price, recovered about $5,000 of the original $8,000. Wedding bands were engraved and custom, so total loss there. Tuesday afternoon began the nightmare of notifying guests. We had 200 invitations out. I emailed and phoned everyone on my side and enlisted family to help. Amanda was apparently catatonic, so her mother ended up calling most of their list Tuesday and Wednesday. Wednesday morning, the venue manager rang. Out-of-town guests were already arriving and asking about rehearsal dinner times. People had driven hours. I felt awful, but the mess wasn't mine to fix. Wednesday afternoon, Amanda appeared at my door with her sister in tow, eyes swollen, clearly hadn't slept, begging, saying she'd made a horrific mistake but we could still salvage everything, that she loved me. You love the idea of the wedding, Amanda. You don't love me. There's a positive way to call your fiancé boring while making out with strangers? Her sister tried playing peacemaker, suggested postponing instead of canceling. I told them there was nothing to postpone. Amanda had revealed exactly how she saw me when she thought no one who mattered was watching. Thursday and Friday were spent untangling our lives. She'd lived in my apartment for 2 years. She moved out Thursday night to her parents. We divided furniture, canceled joint accounts, removed her from my car insurance and phone plan. Wedding gifts that had already arrived were returned or mailed back with apology letters. Friday evening, Jessica called, mortified. I never thought you'd see that clip. I was just posting memories. Jessica, you did me the biggest favor of my life. Better I know now. She's destroyed. She knows she screwed up. She's destroyed because she got exposed, not because she did it. Saturday, today. My phone started exploding at 8 a.m. Guests who never got the message were turning up at a locked venue with a printed cancellation notice on the door. The manager spent the afternoon turning away confused, dressed up people. Some had flown in, some driven 8 hours. I hated that part, but again, Amanda's choices, not mine. She texted and called all day begging me to change my mind, saying she'd do anything. Too late. She showed me who she really was when she thought the camera wasn't on her. Update 1 week later, the phrase "one last night of freedom" has become infamous in our circle. About 40 out-of-town guests never got the memo and arrived to an empty venue. Several were furious about flights and hotels. Family members demanded explanations. I sent the same short message. Wedding canceled due to bride's infidelity at her bachelorette party. Video evidence undeniable. Amanda's mother rang me sobbing Saturday night about the humiliation. Her grandmother had driven 6 hours, college friends flown from the West Coast. I reminded her Amanda could have considered all those people before she decided to sample the menu 1 week before the wedding. Sunday the clip spread like wildfire. Friends split into 2 camps. Those who thought I overreacted to one drunk mistake, and those who said calling your fiancé boring while kissing another man is a relationship death sentence. My family backed me 100%. My mom admitted she'd always felt Amanda acted like she was doing me a favor. My dad said any woman who does that isn't wife material. Monday, I sorted the remaining finances. Insurance paid $4,000. I still ate $24,000. Amanda agreed to let me keep the apartment and she'd cover her half of the rent remotely for the remaining 6 months rather than break the lease. Tuesday, mutual friends started relaying messages. Amanda wanted to meet, talk, fix things. I declined. 4 years together deserved loyalty, not being labeled boring while she kissed strangers. Wednesday, she showed up again. Admitted everything she said was awful, that she'd been scared, that the kiss was meaningless, that I was everything she wanted in a husband, except also boring and someone she was settling for. She had no comeback because it was on video with perfect audio. Thursday, I heard she was telling people I destroyed her life over one silly drunk moment, and painting herself as the victim of an inflexible ex didn't work. Too many had seen the footage. Friday, her sister called pushing couples therapy. I pointed out there was no couple left to therapize. Update 2-3 weeks later, the video is now required viewing in our friend group whenever someone talks about red flags. Amanda tried for weeks to spin it as out-of-context banter or normal pre-wedding nerves. When that failed, she claimed the kiss was barely anything. People who were there confirmed it was not barely anything. She asked friends to stay neutral. Most said they would try, but privately admitted her actions were indefensible. Her mother tried the depression angle. Amanda was so devastated she'd taken leave from work. I replied that I was glad she was suffering the consequences before we were legally bound. Last week she texted for the first time in weeks. She'd finally realized what she lost, that I wasn't boring, I was stable and safe, and she'd been terrified and stupid. I replied that the problem wasn't love. The problem was respect. You don't treat someone you respect that way. She asked if trust could ever be rebuilt. I told her trust isn't a Lego set you reassemble after smashing it on purpose. That was the last text. Final update, 2 months later, Amanda tried to win me back for about 6 weeks total, then gave up. She did a month of intensive therapy. Some friends forgave her. Many kept their distance. The clip still surfaces whenever someone needs a what not to do example. Her family finally stopped pleading. 3 weeks ago, word got back that she's dating someone new she met on an app. Moving fast, apparently searching for the excitement she thought she was missing. Good luck to him. Last week I started seeing someone new. I told her the entire saga. Her reaction. Any woman who calls her fiancé boring while making out with strangers never deserved you in the first place. Night and day difference in how she speaks about me. Yesterday would have been our 2-month wedding anniversary. Instead, I took my new girlfriend out to dinner. She thinks I'm fascinating. Imagine that. Amanda got the permanent freedom she toasted to that night. I got away from someone who saw me as the consolation prize. The guy at the bar helped blow up a 4-year relationship and cost me $24,000. He probably still has no idea that I learned that when people think no one important is listening, they reveal exactly who they are. Amanda did. And thanks to Instagram, I got to hear it before I said, I do. $24,000 to dodge a lifetime with someone who thought she was settling? Best money I ever spent.